It's been about 3 years since we've looked at the Vanquish Phoenix Portal VS4-10. I built this as a kit, and if you've been with me at that time, or if you've looked back at my channel to find this information, you may find that I really hit my head against the wall trying to get this thing to crawl well. If you look at the About description for my channel, you'll see I hold a bunch of trophies for crawling. I know what I'm doing with the radio, and yet I made this car look so bad when I was driving, sorry Vanquish, that I had several people saying, this is hard to watch, I can't watch it. Go and watch West Desert Wheeler, Logan will teach you how to crawl. I actually took those with an open mind because you can always learn more with crawling, and no doubt my crawling's gotten a lot better in the last 3 years, but my challenges with the Phoenix Portal were really more about trying to get the thing to get over peaky kind of crawl obstacles, which is kind of what my course is like. Now, I've made some changes to this thing over the years, and one of the very first things I did was to work out how to make the suspension work better. And it got to the point where in the 2.5 years since I published my findings after I did some testing, people are still giving me advice today saying, hey Craig, have you tried putting slightly longer shocks on and changing the pound hard mount? Yeah, I developed that fix myself. I'm sure others have worked it out, but I, to my knowledge, was the first to show that about this car because I really wanted this thing to crawl well. It's a thing of art. It's beautiful. It's got a lovely interior. It's clearly made with love, and I kind of agonized over this when I first published my videos. I wanted to show a car that was capable, as well as being the attractive, lovely model that it is. Now, Vanquish have gone and made other cars since this came out, and more power to them. I have really enjoyed watching their stuff come out. I don't have ready access to their stuff, and so I usually pay about 150% of what you guys pay in America for these things. Where the car currently sits now is slightly less capable as far as these titanium bars go, but in every other respect, this car is a far superior model to what it was last time you saw it on this channel. I'm going to tell you all about it today. Stick around. Right, well, let's look at first what's the same. Here, we'll pull the body up. There's a little clip here that pops out. If you haven't met this car before, this was a kit. You can probably buy it as an RTR as well. I'm not actually sure if Vanquish even still sells this thing, but I thought you might be interested to see it. And we've got to do 2 clips at the back. Out they pop. 1, 2. Right, get them off to the side. This is the body. Now, it's got lights attached. So first thing to tell you is I put headlight and tail light setup in there, and that's just literally just plugging into one of the receiver ports. So it's got lights, otherwise the body's the same. You'll also notice that I've got a lockout on the VRD transmission. The dig is still functional, but the overdrive switching I've disabled. I've just kept it stuck at the maximum overdrive setting. So I've got the Holmes Torquemaster Expert 40-turn 540 brush motor, and just your humble WP1060 ESC with the right motor and gearing that is absolutely ample. Sure, stick a 1080 in or whatever else you like, that's fine, but this is still quite okay for the job. Other things have changed though, and you may have noticed how the car is kind of sitting down low. I'm running Pricey's custom crawler parts shocks now. They're an internally dual sprung shock. So these actually have greater travel by 9mm than the originals. I believe it's 9mm. But they sit nice and low. There's still a little bit of compression in them, but the trick with the Pricey shocks is that you can get really, really long travel now. And it's compressed a little on this side, but this side you'll see it's gotten quite long. So that's the point of these shocks. It gives you the wheel reach when you want it, but it keeps the body down, which improves your center of gravity, which helps when you've got portals as well, right? Still using the original axles, but I've now put some weight, just a bit of weight on the front. This is a mixed thing for people. Not everyone likes having extra mass on the front of this platform, I know, but I actually quite like it on the front. And paired with these is their Enduro wheels, but I believe they're very similar to the Vanquish ones. So either way, they're alloy beadlock wheels. They're not using additional weights, they're just that. I've got Enduro, I think blue silicon. They're not quite the right size for these VS2 tires, or VXT2 tires, but there's a bit of run fatness to them because there's a little bit of air between the edge of the silicon and the tire outer, but that's okay. I like it like that. And I also have got bent links on the rear. and I've just adjusted the lengths of things just to get them how I like them, even with a little bent kind of rod end at the end there. Getting rid of those tires, the VXTs that came with the original Phoenix Portal, was a good move. They're some of the worst tires by feel that I've encountered. I did do a video with those tires and the Sendero HD, and it actually crawled okay with them, so they're not actually useless tires. You will read online that some people really disparage them. I don't like how they feel. They feel like they're going to suck, but they're all right. They're not brilliant by any means, but they're not garbage either. They feel like they're going to be garbage, but they're actually not. These are a larger diameter, and although the wheels are vented, because of the silicon inners, they act like they're not vented, which is fine. And we've still got plenty of sidewall, even though it looks quite bad. The actual meat inside here doesn't move around much. So despite there being a little bit of extra air, the things are actually going to still hold their sidewall quite well. Like, I've got to press pretty hard to move it. So that is a good thing. I think that's actually all to tell you. So let's get this thing across the 6 problems. My expectations are not particularly high for this car, but I've made this now about as good as I can. Yeah, these bars were, they're going to make the car worse than the stock plastic ones, but I really like them. Just titanium, they look good. Oh, and there's one last thing I didn't mention in the original review. There is room for a winch there, and there's a beautiful little plastic guide inside. This is stock, and there's a little hole that terminates in at the end, and you've got a fair lead on this, and you've got a fair lead on the original bumper as well, I'm pretty sure. So you've got room to run a servo winch here if you want it. It doesn't go with my idea of what this car should be, so I didn't do it, but it's there if you want it. I have liked this car more and more the more I play with it, but yeah, I think it did need a suspension overhaul of some kind. And if you want to get shocks like these, talk to Pricey. He can do you links as well. I'm not using his links. These are mostly stock except for these weird double bent ones. It's just what I had, and I just wanted to experiment to see if I could stop the links from interrupting here, because we've got the portals at that end. So yeah, I'm still experimenting, but let's get it across the 6 problems, see if it's any better. These shocks from experience will make the car a lot better, but I haven't actually driven it in its current form, so let's do that. Okay, I'm properly excited to have this thing on the track. This is problem 1. One thing I'm starting to regret is not putting some foams around the outside of the silicon inners. I like how it sits, like that little grabby tire look, but I think it could use a little bit of padding. All right, we're up and we're not falling yet. I've just put dig in. This is not what dig is, well, dig's for everything, right? But I'm just moving it around so the back doesn't get sucked around. Now we're just gonna pop back out of it. Dig disengages. There's problem 1, done. From memory, we had problem 1, 3, and 5 were possible with this thing in stock form. I'd sure like to get all 6 out today. I don't know if we can, but so far, man, it's looking pretty good. I noticed the portal's not being sold anymore either. There's problem 2. They have the straight axle version alongside the Fordas, but yeah, you can't buy the Phoenix Portal, at least not from Vanquish themselves. It could be in stock elsewhere. Pricey's shocks here are doing the job. I'm just gonna pop, maybe we'll just freewheel, no. I want it up, and I'm just gonna do nothing, evidently. Just so you know, I've got dig set up like this. Freewheel and then locked. So we're going to take advantage of it wherever we can. I know these bars aren't particularly practical, but gee, they look good. Let's just experiment here. If it's freewheeled in the rear, all right. So we need the drive, but then locking the front. What I really want is for that front to get loaded up. The way dig works, I've showed it with this car before actually. The way dig works is you load up the front tire and then you pop it out of dig and off she goes. But we need to get to that point first. So that's actually how dig functions. Of course, the rest of the car needs to support you getting to that point. She's still somewhat top heavy. Oh, there we go. This is not ideal. I'm going to engage dig so I can reverse without losing my position, hopefully, in theory. There we go. All right, so now dig's engaged. That did not go well. Oh dear. Dig's engaged again. I'm going to see if we can fall across. There we go. We're probably going to fall here. Oh, look at that. Goodness me. I've never, in all this time, had a car finish problem 3 like this. Oh, couldn't have done it without Dig. Holy moly. How good is that? I wish I could get a screenshot of that, actually. That's just incredible. What a finish to problem 3. My goodness. What a finish. Problem 3 really, that was really, really fun. I've never seen a truck finish like that. This is problem 4, of course. I think this little servo is dying, this front one. It's certainly been through the ringer, and we're asking more of it. It's just a cheapie. Ooh, look at this. Gee, don't good tyres make a difference, hey? We're just gonna dig just across to the right a shade. No, that's not worked at all. Actually, we'll keep digging gauge. This rig really deserves a better servo. We just chipped some rock off that. All right. I'm all sorts of out of shape now. So's my car. Lol. Come on. Okay, I'm going to freewheel the rear so that there's a bit of movement, but I don't want the truck pulling off to the edge. Now we're going to pop over if we can. Come on. There we go. Oh, jeez. It's all over. It's all over. Gee, doesn't Dig give you some options though, eh? All right, we'll park him back here because getting up there is no problem. Let's just have another hack at that and I'll try and stay straight this time. I haven't had this much fun with a modified car in a while. I really like these shocks. Oh yeah, we didn't have to jump across there because we had the reach with the Portal and the 4.75 tyres from Vanquish, which are 5.1s. I asked Josh from Harley Designs about that and he emailed back and said, yeah, once the foams bed in, they'll drop down to 4.75. That's if you use their foams. I'm using the Enduro inners, of course. All right, loading up and max power 5,000 didn't quite cut it. Anybody bring a winch? I wonder. This is a very capable machine, but I think it needs a different driving approach, actually. I noticed in the video I can see where people skip past, and often they skip past the 6 problems, but honestly, you're missing out on some good learning and just contextualizing for how different rigs go. There's an opportunity to learn here for tuning, including for me. I mean, I'm showing you the video, but I learned quite a bit just doing this. Here we go, this will have it. No, I went just a shade too far. And the servo hasn't got the boogie. Jeez, I need to replace this servo evidently with something stronger. I've been playing with the 9 iMod stuff recently. That's been quite good. Just trying out different brands. My long-time favourite has been Holmes Hobbies, and they've got the SHV 650, I think. I've got a couple of them. They're quite good, and also the JX servo has been a favourite. They're the staple. This is a JX servo, but it's like their cheapest one. Well, not their cheapest waterproof Metal Gear one. Okay, we don't have the reach, so we need a bit of speed for this one. I'll make this the last attempt because otherwise it gets tedious for you guys, but I think it should be able to do it. I do. No, okay, 4's out. Oh well, we tried. All right, into problem 5. This first pair of rocks catches trucks out often, but we've just got the reach with the Portals and these lovely tall tyres. I thought this titanium bull bar and bumper would get in the way quite a lot, but they're shaped really intelligently. There are these little extra bits for D-shackles that could get in the way, but you could cut them off. I'm just going to move the camera. All right, and continuing. This should not be a problem for this car with these tyres. They work really well on my rock. I'm tempted to try this car with a different servo. Look at these suspensions. See, we've got long suspension in here, longer travel than what it came with. And one of the arguments people had against long travel suspension, that's problem 5 out, and we'll finish with problem 6. One of the problems they had was saying you don't want longer suspension, that'll pick up the body too high. Well, the beauty of Pricey's shocks is that they actually suck the body down lower with their dual spring setup, and when you need the clearance, they'll drop a foot down into the hole. But otherwise, the car stays nice and low. That's the beauty of this kind of setup. I've actually tried the same concept with just a cheapy pair of shocks. They were RC all-wheel drive shocks I used on my latest Mini. Used that at last weekend's comp, and I mean, I won the class. It went well. It's a sound theory. All right, digs in. I just want to bring that nose around a bit. There we go. No, much too much dig, Craig. Oh dear. Remember, we're just using the cheapest components here. I've got a WP1060 in here. And seeing how well this truck drives now, I'm inclined to give it a proper servo, a proper ESC, and a better BEC, battery eliminator circuit. That's the one that gives the voltage to the servos and the radio. You could keep this same setup and just give the steering servo more volts, or even direct power from the battery, as long as the servo can take it. We're running on a little 450 milliamp hour 3S battery here. Come on, come on. Oh, it looks like it can do it, I reckon. I just need to bring that nose back. Have I gone too far? Yeah, I have. Oh dear. And poor old problem 6 has seen better days. It's always a bit random, this problem. Not exactly scientific, but I've always been more about feel than straight science here, although we try to be consistent. All right, that's actually how that rock should have been sitting, so it was doing it hard anyway. Ooh. Problem with not having the soft foam on the outside of the 4.75 silicons inside this 5.1 size tyre is that you get a lot of tyre bunching up, and it means the truck doesn't exactly do what I want all the time. We've just hit low voltage. Was it possible? I'm just going to do this on low voltage and see if I'd got the thing in the right spot. I reckon it is possible. Don't stop on me. We'll say a definite maybe. It's a shame to not be able to put more voltage into the battery and just have another hack at problem 6, but I'm unfortunately out of time for the entire week now, and I'd like to get this video out to you guys. I'm going to say it probably can do 6, but we won't say it can definitely do it until we actually do it. So we'll say probably 6, but it still has to work for it. Definitely there's an improvement. All around it just walked. Problem 1 and 2. Problem 3 was unusual. Problem 4, yeah, okay, fair enough. But problem 5, I just had so much confidence in this little truck. I thought these bars would get in the way, but they really haven't. I really like them a lot. I've got the links to everything in the description. Everything for this car. And if you look back through the playlist, there'll be links to some of the other stuff I used to use on it as well. I'm very happy with it. Keep in mind, from when I said fixed on, I think it was video 3 for this thing, I'm not using the stock Vanquish Panhard. I made some changes to allow for taller suspension. And on the whole, I'm extremely pleased with this car. It's now what I hoped it would be when I first built it. And I remember agonizing over this when I made the video because I wasn't happy with its crawling. And I remember thinking just so much love had gone into it. I remember saying that, you know, Vanquish is a big, small company, and there's a lot of heart in what they do. I very much like what they do, and you know, for any company, you want to show their stuff in a good light, but I also want to be honest about it. I wasn't happy with it at first, and it was confusing. And a lot of people said it was a trail truck, but, you know, selectable overdrive, dig, live axles front and rear, portals, come on. It's designed to be a crawler, you know, low slung weight with the motor down low, opposite spinning drive shafts and all. This is a crawler. It just wasn't a very good crawler. The extra mass up the front really helps as well, I think, but tyres were a big deal. The stock tyres that came with this thing sucked. I'm glad they've moved away from the VXTs. So, there you go. Thank you to my channel members who have brought this video to you. Here they are. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate your support. Thank you to all of you who support me. I've got 3 tiers. You can check out the memberships down below, along with my links to everything. And thank you, the viewer, for watching all the way through. I love making these videos for you guys. It's really, it's one of the more meaningful things I've done in a very long time. Thank you for watching. Throw me a like, and I'll catch you next time on RC-TNT. Cheers.